Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Mind, Money, Soul. And today we're going to talk about what to do if you feel guilty spending your money. Now, this is actually the second time I'm recording this episode because the first time I did it, I don't know what happened, but I had no audio by the end of it. So that was fun. But we're here, we're recording again, and it's going to be better than the last one. So let's get into it. Now for me, I definitely used to feel guilty spending money. When I was between the ages of 16 when I first started making money through to mid-20s, I really struggled when it came to enjoying my money. I would feel guilty for spending anything on myself outside of necessities. So anything that was just not a necessity, I would just feel so bad about it. But I shouldn't be spending this. I should be saving this. I should be putting it aside. I was so obsessed and I feared not having money so much that it made me feel guilty spending any money on myself, to the point where I would hate buying myself new clothes, even if I didn't fit them anymore, or if they were tatty. I hated having to spend money on things, especially when it was a larger amount. And I just felt very unsafe and worried and stressed and overwhelmed. And it all came from this place of fear and lack and scarcity, right? Because I believed if I spent that money, I wasn't going to be able to replace it. I wasn't going to be able to get it back. And it would impact me financially and not in a good way. Not realizing the negative impact that the guilt was having on me around not being able to enjoy my money. So I'm a big believer in being able to find the balance between knowing that you are saving and investing and building up your money for the future, but also enjoying your money. You work hard for your money. You deserve to enjoy it and not feel guilty every single time that you spend a penny. I actually had a client once who she had about 40 to 50k sat in a bank account, in a savings account, and she never spent any money on herself ever. She was very scared of spending money and felt guilty about it if she ever sort of treated herself. And the reason why she wanted money and the reason why she had so much money in the bank was because she needed it for safety and security. But she didn't feel safe and she didn't feel secure, and she still couldn't enjoy any money that she had. And she wasn't enjoying herself, and she was working really hard. So it's not about how much you have, it's about the feelings that you have towards it. Now, I guess there's two reasons why you might feel guilty spending. Now, one of them would be because you're not actually doing the things that you need to be doing to be building your wealth. So you're not saving, you're not investing, you're not progressing financially in any way. So the guilt is babe, you shouldn't be spending this money because you're not even saving. You don't have an emergency fund. You're not investing. And it's guilt around the fact that you're not making any financial progress and you're always choosing immediate and instant gratification over delayed and deferred gratifications. That's one way. But the other way is that even that you could be someone who's very financially secure, who has money in the bank, has savings, can afford their bills, has no debt, is investing, etc., making financial progress, but you have a poor relationship with money. And therefore, even though you have money and you're in a good position, you feel guilty for spending. So you have a poor relationship with spending. Now, if you are the former, and it's that you're not saving, it's that you're not investing, then the guilt that you feel about spending is there to protect you. It is there to say, hey girl, you're not doing the things that you need to do. It's trying to be a warning sign to say, okay, well, whilst this is great and you're enjoying your money in the now, what happens if you lose your job? What happens if there's an emergency? What happens, in the future when you want to stop working and you want to retire? So it's kind of just like a little warning sign to say, hey, I know you're really enjoying spending right now and you're doing all these things, but can we just have a little look and maybe shift it up and maybe not spend so much? So if this is you, I recommend having a money date, sitting down with your money and making sure you work into your plan money for future goals. Savings, investments, emergency fund, that kind of thing. And this is actually going to help you enjoy your money more, because even though you will have technically less to spend because there's more of it going towards the future than just that you can spend in the now, at least you can be mindful with what you've got and actually enjoy it instead of kind of feeling guilty for everything you're spending money on and also not making any financial progress. That's a double whammy. That's a double hit. So have a money date, Factor in money for your financial success, and that is going to help the guilt reside. Now, if the guilt remains, or if you're listening to this and you're like, no, that's not me, I'm like saving and investing everything, or I'm really good with my money, I just really struggle with spending, then I have some tips for you. First off, your net worth will not be displayed on your headstone when you die. People don't care how much money you have in the bank. People don't care when you die how much you have, and you're not going to care because you're going to be dead. So remind yourself that there is no, I don't even know what the word is, but there's no power, I guess, in dying with loads of money. And if everything is aiming towards your older years, oh, well, I need money for when I'm older, I need money for this. There is an optimal amount of money that you could have saved or invested growing that allows you to have a good retirement and do the things that you want. But what you don't want to do is get to your deathbed and be looking back on your life and you have low health and the only thing you really have is, your memories looking back over your life. But what are you going to do if you have no memories? Because you haven't spent any money on anything that brought you any kind of joy. All of your money went to saving and investing. So if you are if you are one of the extremes and you save and invest everything, having a money date and sitting down and really asking yourself why do I want this money? How much do I actually need? Because we go in blind. We're like, oh, let's just save and invest and we'll just see where we get to. You might be completely, and I say oversaving, but oversaving and investing in the way of not getting to enjoy your money, which is just as important. So really sitting down and okay, well right now I'm putting away X percentage or X amount of my paycheck. So my savings are going to look like this in 10 years. And if I carry on doing it, and my investments look like this. Let's work backwards. What is it that I'm actually saving for? Okay, it's an emergency fund. How much do I want in that emergency fund? And therefore, how much should I be putting away? Saving. What else am I saving for? Is it for a car? Is it for a holiday? What am I saving for that I need cash for in the short term? And then work backwards. How long do you need that money? And what does that look like each month? And then when it comes to investing and growing your money so that you can retire and take a step back from work when you want, what's the goal here? What age do I want to retire? How much do I think I'm going to need? Now, I've got other episodes that touch on working that out. It's in the pension series, which is the how much do I need to put into my pension? And I also have a how much should I be investing one. So check those out. But that's going to really start to help because it's going to allow you to actually have goals to meet each month. You will know how much you need to be saving or investing, and then you can work around that. Now, to add on to this, why do you want money? Why do you get up and go to work and make money? Really think about it. Really think about it. Now, when you know your why, it will allow you to run the numbers and get more in touch with that and know if you are over saving and over investing. So that's just the start, is really understanding your why when it comes to money. Now, if you're really, if you felt guilty about spending, you've always been a saver or a money hoarder and you fall into that kind of category, then what will happen is you'll probably run those numbers and you'll be yeah, I'm still good. I'm still saving. I'm not over saving. I'm not over investing. So first of all, just look at the numbers. Are you over egging the pudding here, right? That's the first bit. Now, some of you might look at that and go, oh my God, I'm actually saving and investing so much. And I don't even need that much for my retirement. If I reduced it by this amount, I would still get to my goal. If I saved it over this period of time, I'd still get to my goal. Or whatever it is, right? You might run the numbers and logically go, oh, okay, I see where I can enjoy more of my money. But if your brain is still no, you need to still, save and invest everything. Spending is not for you, blah, blah, blah. Then you want to start to think about the more emotional side. So really understand the value of spending on yourself. Spending on yourself is not a luxury. It's not something that only certain people get to or deserve to enjoy. Everybody deserves it. Self-care can improve the quality of your life in a crazy amount, right? It can make you more productive. It can make you more happy, all of those things. And an investment in yourself and in your well-being is a form of self-care. So what I'm trying to say is spending money on yourself is deserved and will help you enjoy your life more in a roundabout way. Now, I think it's really important to remember that you deserve to enjoy the benefits of your hard work. You deserve that. Why would you go to work? And I bang on about this all the time, but why would you go to work all these hours, have all this money, and then not even be able to enjoy yourself on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis because you're ridiculing yourself about all the little purchases you're making? There is a very big difference about being mindful with your spending and being intentional with your spending and versus not allowing yourself anything, especially if you can afford it. Now, when we're talking about spending, the spending doesn't have to be on things. The spending can be on experiences, memories, even giving. Actually, I'd rather you were spending on yourself. So this actually brings me on to my next point, which is create a fun fund. So this is a way of actually taking action and allowing you to spend money on yourself guilt-free. So in your budget, put aside a little bit of money for your fun fund. It could be £20, £50, however much you want. Your task as part of that budget is to spend that money completely guilt-free. Like anything. It could literally be anything. It could be a ticket for a concert. It could be something that you've wanted to buy for ages that felt really frivolous. Work it into your budget and show your brain logistically at the start of the month, this money is going towards something that I want just for the fun of it. It's not pushing my financial progress. It doesn't even need to be something that betters you as a person. It could just be something because you fucking want it or because it brings you joy. Put that money aside and get used to and get into the habit of enjoying your money. Okay, now, like I said, if this task feels really overwhelming and hard, start with a small amount and build it up. And don't worry and get worried that you're going to swing too far the other way and suddenly you're going to want to spend everything. You don't need to worry about that. You can start small and you can build it up. Now imagine being 80. I want you to envision this. You're 80 years old. You've woken up. I was going to say where you were. I don't even know where 80-year-old people live. Anyway, you're 80. You've woken up. You've gone to a party with all your little 80-year-old friends. You're buzzing. You got yourself ready. You're like, oh, lovely day out with the girlfriends. You get there and everyone's sharing stories and they're chatting. And you're like, and everyone's telling stories about people. You know, when I was in my 20s, I did this. When I was in my 30s, I did this story, this memory, this joy. And you're like, damn, I didn't do any of that. I don't have any stories to share. I don't have any memories. I don't have any experiences. Why? Well, because I was so concerned about financial security and having money that I didn't think about what that money could do for me and the amazing way in which it could impact my life. I just focused on numbers and saving and investing. And I made myself feel guilty every time I spent. I never got to experience some amazing things in life because I was too scared to spend. And instead of doing it in a controlled way that made me acknowledge that I deserved it, I just avoided it. Money doesn't bring you joy. It's what you do with that money that brings you joy. You can use the money as a tool to live the life that you deserve. Now, the reason why we have a budget is to make sure that all of the points are covered: spending, saving, and investing. We make sure that your bills are covered, but that you're also enjoying your money, but that you're also working towards your financial progress. Sometimes the split is going to be you're saving more. Sometimes the split is you're going to be spending more. That's okay, as long as you don't guilt trip yourself. Okay, so if you're like, right, I've got a big goal that I want to buy a house in 3 years, okay, you're obviously going to weight your percentage of the way that you track your spending, of where your money goes, is going to be weighted more to saving and investing, right? And that's okay. Now, perhaps that guilt that you have about spending money on yourself is like, oh, this is because I have a really big goal and for the next 2 years I do need to make a sacrifice. That's okay, because maybe that guilt is actually going to help you stop, question yourself with your purchases. Do I really need this? Like, is it going to take me further away from my goal? Yes, no. Like, you have a time limit. But if you're just generally saving and investing and feeling guilty for spending, when does that end? When does that end? We're just going to feel guilty for the rest of your life for even having money? No. So, to round up this episode, I would highly, highly recommend reading a book called Die with Zero. Changed my life. One of the most amazing books I've ever read. And it talks about this concept of how the people that save and invest everything, or a really large portion of their income, they're really financially secure, really, working towards financial independence, they are saving up all their money for a certain point. when I'm 60, I'll go traveling. When I'm 65 and I quit my job, I'll do this. Now, what we have to remember is the older you get, the less time and the less health and the less energy you have. So when you're younger, you have usually more energy, more time, but less money. And then it flips the other way around when you're older. If you save all of your money and invest all of your money till you're older, I promise you half of the things that you want to do now at this age, you won't want to do when you're 60. And they might not even be around when you're 60. Like, things change. So really acknowledging and taking, making the most of opportunities depending on whatever like year of your life you're in. And knowing that you can spend that money, because what happens is if you don't spend any of it, and you wait until you're older to spend it, a lot of the times your habits are so deep rooted, it feels so much harder to shift your relationship and to flip from a place of saving and investing to spending. So you'll find reasons and excuses to not spend that money when you get to that age. The goalpost will always move. Oh, just another this, just to wait until we get this amount. Oh no, there'll always be an excuse. So you're either going to get to that age and not even spend it anyway, or if you do start spending it, you're not going to have the same health and time as you did at this age. Now, obviously, caveat to this, don't spend everything, because then you'll get to 60 and you'll go, fuck, I've got to work till I'm 90. There is a balance. And that comes down to improving your relationship with money, having a budget, knowing what you're working towards, having financial goals and doing a split of both. But if you're only doing the extremes of saving and investing and you're guilt tripping yourself for spending, you are going to regret it so much more in the future because you will have no memories to share. And that's what this book talks about. It talks about this concept of memory dividends. So when you have an experience and you create a memory from it, not only do you get to enjoy it in the moment, but you have memory dividends. So that memory pays out dividends for the rest of your life, right? I've been on gorgeous holidays this year that I've created some of the most beautiful memories. Now, not only did I get to live that this year, but for the rest of my life, I get to recall those stories to friends, to new people that I meet. I get to reminisce on them myself. I get to look at photos and videos, and I get little rushes of dopamine and joy when I think about it, when I retell those stories. So you're getting to relive those experiences. And by the time I'm older, I will have a plethora, a full repertoire of beautiful memories and experiences that I can draw down upon and think about that will bring me joy. And you deserve the same too. Whether that's going on holiday with your mates, whether that's going to see certain bands, certain gigs, whether it's just making the time and effort to spend on a train journey to get down to the beach. Maybe you're a massive introvert and you don't even like people, but you spending your money on a hobby that you found that you really, really love is going to bring you so much joy. So highly recommend reading that book, and hopefully you can take on board some of the things I've said. But if you have any questions, please reach out and ask, because I'm always looking, I can always help with more tips around the guilt-free spending. But it's so nice to have you here this week. I hope you all had a gorgeous week. Hope you all go on to have another gorgeous week, and I will speak to you all soon. Mwah!